Hey, how's it going? This is Ed, and we're here with Alex from Kings Games.
Hi.
All right, definitely a boss in the game. No kidding. All right, so going to ask him some questions. First of all, I'd like to ask you, what makes Kings Games special? What is unique about Kings Games, and what makes Kings Games a leader in this particular territory?
I've always envisioned us as the premier tournament center. We want to provide an experience for players. We don't want to just be a game store. We want people to come here and have fun and feel about the place. That's kind of like you would feel about your favorite bar or your favorite restaurant, where you are just comfortable going there and just thinking about it makes you happy. So that's really what we've been trying to accomplish with the store over the last 12, 13 years, and going forward as well. And everything that we've done has really been building to that.
Okay. So actually that's very interesting that you're going to mention that. I'm actually going to do a quick pan around and show you guys the size in New York City. Okay? This is ridiculous. Okay? And on the website there's a lot of pictures and stuff of, just thousands of people just running up in Kings Games. This is definitely the spot to be in New York City. Let's take a look. Okay, so you have a lot of experience in this field. You're probably one of the longest running stores, definitely the largest in New York City. You've seen a lot of stores come and go. What qualities did the stores that succeeded and lasted have?
One of the most common mistakes that store owners or aspiring store owners make when they try to open a game store is they jump in with both feet when they're really unprepared. They don't have the finances. They kind of figure out exactly how much it's going to take them to open their doors and don't plan for the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. They also don't have the experience. And what ends up happening with a lot of the game stores, even ones that are really pretty well run, is that they turn into clubs, which is great. I mean, you want to hang out with your friends, you want to give them all special privileges, you want to have a great time drafting Magic or playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Or building your Warhammer army. But you have to be able to separate that from, you have to separate your play time from your work time. And you have to approach it as a business, and you have to treat it in a way where you know that if the store is not making money, you're not going to be able to continue having that good time. So a realistic and by the numbers business approach, I think, is the most important thing that people can do when they're planning on opening a game store, or any business for that matter.
I love that. That's great. Where do you think the industry is headed? What trends should we be looking out for?
Well, one of the things that, of course, we've seen recently is the conversion to digital. So many of the games are being played online, exclusively online now, on a computer or on PlayStation. You have things like Hearthstone, which are taking over for, World of Warcraft TCG. Magic Online has been around for over 10 years now, and is always popular despite their software problems. So a lot of the digitization of games is part of the problem, and of course online retailers are in effect as well. Everybody now has a smartphone. Everybody has a digital device, and more people, especially young people, the kind that shop at game stores, are comfortable going online and ordering online. So it's not like, if you're catering to an older demographic that may not be super comfortable, shopping on Amazon or something. We have to understand that our customers are able to order online and to be able to compete with that, whether on price or on quality or on selection. So that's the shift that we're seeing, and I think being able to provide unique experiences as a store is the best thing that we can do. So being able to provide tournaments and meeting space for people is going to be more valuable than simply putting product on the shelf that somebody else is always going to be willing to sell a few cents cheaper.
Okay. Actually I'm going to give you props on that, just mentioning off the top of my head, because out of all the game stores here in New York City, you're the only one that I kind of saw that had actually like selling cards on MTGO. I visited the Kings Games bought a couple of cards, that was cool. So I was like, oh wow, these guys are even in this space. You guys are really in all the spaces. You guys are doing tournaments in the whole region. I love it, it's really something to really look up to.
Well, it makes sense to leverage our name as much as possible. So if that means selling on Magic Online, or selling on portals like Amazon or a TCG Player or eBay, people will recognize our name, and hopefully it'll give them a little bit of extra confidence, because they know they're not just buying from a guy selling out of his garage who may or may not have time tomorrow to ship out the package.
Absolutely.
And so they know they're buying from a legitimate store that's not going to rip them off for a $20 card or something.
Okay. And I really like what you were saying earlier about like because when I asked you about like where stores come and go and how people make mistakes, this is what this channel is kind of devoted towards, the business of game store or retail, things like that. So, what are some of the most common misconceptions people have about the business?
Well, a lot of it comes down to people coming up to you and going, "Cool, you own a game store. You must play so many games."
Yeah.
That's really not the fact. I play less games now than I ever had, and it's really been true ever. I've been a gamer my entire life, but it's been true ever since we opened the store. It just takes a lot of time, and you kind of live vicariously through your players. You don't really get to play yourself nearly as much.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of hard work involved for store employees, managers, and owners in everything from cleaning, scrubbing the toilet to stocking merchandise. And so it's probably less glamorous than people realize when they come in and ask if we need help or if they want to apply for a job. They don't realize that a lot of that work is real work and not just hanging out and talking about games all day.
What are some things like people might watch for? Like this is something Alex said. Maybe I should be very careful right now in terms of making my next movement.
If you don't mind, I'll actually change that answer around
go ahead,
and I'll give you the best piece of advice that I can give to anybody who wants to open a game store.
Absolutely.
And that is, find a game store in a different area from yours so they have no uncomfortable feelings working with you, and offer to volunteer your time there for a week or two. Get a feel for what it actually is like to work at a game store. What sort of things go on, how ordering is done, how like all these different aspects, because most people who open game stores have never in their life worked at a game store, and that's part of the reason why they fail. They really have no idea what they're signing up for. We were in the same boat when we first opened up, with no retail experience whatsoever. So we're very lucky to be able to avoid some of the landmines, but it's a lot of stores are not so lucky, and that's why the failure rate of game stores is even higher than the failure rate of restaurants, which is one of the highest, highest risk businesses in retail. So do yourself a favor, find a store owner that's willing to kind of take you under their wing. Even if it's out of area, stay in a hotel, whatever you have to do, go and work there for a couple of weeks. That's really the only way you're gonna get a fair feel for whether or not this is something you're willing to do and something that you can commit so much time and money and effort into making it work.
Thank you so much. You've been great. Have a great one. Thanks.
Hey, how's it going? This is Ed from Heights of Gaming. Just finished interviewing Alex at King's Games. Wow, what a great interview right there. I really love that guy. He's got such high integrity. He's one of my favorite people in the industry to work with, period. Not just on the retail level, but distributors, talking about customers. He's just one of my favorite guys to work with. He's always, whenever we're working out a negotiation, it always makes sense where he's coming from. It's not like, what are you talking about? What are you, it always makes a lot of sense. Not only that, but he has a lot of history in the game and the gaming industry. He's often asked to speak at conventions, at things of that nature. He's often asked by different companies to consult for them. So he's a very high quality information individual. What does that mean? No, he's a very high quality individual with very high quality information to give to anybody, and as you see, he's very open with it, and it makes sense. Having been in the industry myself, I could tell you that everything in the interview he said really resonated with me, and it's stuff that you should be paying attention to. He said he's open to perhaps more interviews. That would be super cool. I was telling him he has a lot of knowledge that shouldn't go away. He should pass that on, and that's what this channel is all about. So anyways, I'm just a super big fan of King's Games, so I'm going to provide a link right here. There's a link right there to his website, and you can find about events or buy from them online, whatever. And yeah, you should look him up, Alex Shvartsman. I'll put his name in there, and you could just Google him. You can find out. He's more than he appears to be, and that's the type of people that I like. All right, have a good one. All right, thanks again for tuning in, and like and subscribe and comment about other questions that you'd like me to ask. Other store owners, things like that. We'll be interviewing more store owners as time goes on. Have a good one.